And I know you mentioned that, I think in another interview with David Lynn, potentially, that you could see it's sort of these conflicts are basically, I don't know if they're leading to World War III or they're sort of a part of this larger global outburst of violence. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have sort of begun to call the Israel-Iran war the second phase of World War III. If you read the propaganda of China and Russia and other BRICS countries and the global South, I mean, they all describe the war in Ukraine as the opening front of World War III. And if you listen carefully to the sort of the neocon wing in Washington, this is all just stepping stones towards the ultimate prize, which is, in their mind at least, which is China, which seems insane to say. But to the Russians and to the Chinese and to the global South, there is a worldwide war. On one side of that war is the sort of Western alliance, the anchor members of the US dollar financial system, and then there's the BRICS countries basically on the other side. And you could almost view this as a global war for US dollar supremacy. And I think in 20, 30 years, that's how historians will describe the period from 2022 until whenever the hostilities subside, should they ever.
Yeah, and it makes you think, obviously, Eastern Europe, Middle East, and I guess Taiwan, you'd imagine, is the major breaking point that hopefully doesn't happen, but you can see it's high risk.
And it's amazing. And by the way, the most amazing part is that the people who are strongly pro-war, like the Lindsey Grahams of the world and the John Boltons of the world, they actually think the U.S. could defeat China in a kinetic conflict. It's literally insane. NATO is basically defeated by Russia, and so the same crowd supported Israel's strike against Iran. We have a view of why a ceasefire was desperately needed. That is not the mainstream view, but we've articulated it in a couple of pieces. And yet, despite these setbacks, all of the talk is China's next. I mean, it's pretty amazing. We note with interest that the U.S. Congress has not declared war since World War II. And basically, the U.S. hasn't won a war since World War II. Not sure why the U.S. keeps getting into these wars, let alone thinking they can win them. So yes, the U.S. is a very substantial military superpower. It can project force all over the world in ways that no other country can, but that's a whole different ball of wax than defeating Russia or defeating China or their combination of them, backstopped by Iran and North Korea, which is exactly what's going on today in a kinetic conflict. It's really crazy, especially in light of the fact that the U.S. has outsourced much of its military supply chains to China. But nonetheless, as analysts, our job is to predict what's happening or understand what's happening, and it seems like the next stop on the war train is going to be China.